Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Join us on a walk down to Dix, New York, down to the Watkins Glen track here for our week. What round are we in? Round five?
Yep.
Round five. Round
Wow.
5 of SRA Division 4 action. I'm Taylor.
It is week 6.
Is
It
week
is week
6.
It is week 6.
Join me
Off
on the
to a
desk,
flying
Bailey Kish, Austin Sawyer. And I will have to say, excuse any kind of weird sounds that may come out of me or lack of brain cells, as I am currently sick, but we push forward and we have to bring the action no matter what. So, how you both doing tonight?
Taylor, I'll be honest with you, I'm sick of you too. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
Austin, how you doing, if you can hear us?
Yeah, doing great, my friend. I'm glad to be back.
Great.
We're happy to have you back.
I appreciate you.
Qualifying is underway, but before we go to them, we'll take a quick look at the track map, throw it over to Bailey Fish to give us a rundown with top overtaking spots and whatnot.
Perfect. Well, Watkins Glen, one of the most famous tracks in the U.S., as you said, in Dix, New York. We'll start down the pit straight into turn 1, the first heavy braking zone. Want to get a good entrance into that for the long, quote-unquote, straight, as turn 2 and 3 is technically involved in the straight, but they are considered corners as they are flat out most of the time. Count corner 4 into that as well as you get to the back straight, heading into the bus stop chicane, the next heavy braking zone. Want to hit the entrance and the exit good, otherwise you will lose out to anybody in front and behind, as they could get the better exit and take you on into turn 5 with the long right-hander. It is possible to go too wide out there, so you wanna get bus stop absolutely correct. After turn 5, you're gonna head down to turn 6 and another downhill left. Kind of a slower corner, but it's still second, third gear corner. A little straight there towards turn 7 on an uphill right. It's a long banking, so you want to hit that as close to the apex as you can, get a good exit. With this another small straight down to turn 8, downhill right, and then up to turn 9 is another uphill left. That one is a little tough as it is off camber, and then you want to set yourself up good for turn 10, which is a quick left, and then you're a good exit out of that. It sets you up for turn 11 as you hit the pit straight.
Thank you, Bailey, for running us through that. Glad to have your track knowledge, and we'll jump over into qualifying now. Right now, the silvers are out on board. Right now, we are with Santer. Let me pull up the time gap for you. Professional stream here.
That is what we do.
As it is not working. This is great. Okay.
We're off to a flyer's start
We're
tonight.
off to a flying start. It's because of what is happening to me. So, really, you don't know how qualifying works. 30-minute qualifying. Silvers will go out first. Then golds will come out at the 15-minute mark. You notice on your screen it is a little dark out there. We are starting at around 5 in the morning. The race should take place around, what, 6 or 7, I believe?
I believe 7, yes.
I believe 7, but before we can look towards the race, I'm going to have to throw it over into our boy Austin if he is ready to hand out these penalties.
Yeah, I'm ready. We got 3 quali bans.
Ooh, tell us.
We got 115, and then we got Lorenzo in 162, and Sky in 999, who also is serving a stop and go 30 for the race.
Ooh. Not very good at all, as I'm going to look to fix what is happening.
Yeah, their race last week that we watched, 12 penalties were given out last week. That's the most out of all the divisions.
Wow.
So it's the Bad Boys Club, I guess.
Hey, happy to be a part of it.
And among those are some decently popular names that we might not mention. Try to watch tonight. Give me 1 second as I am looking for this control real quick.
While you do that, Austin, how do you feel about this week's Watkins Glen? How you feeling going into it?
For our race?
Yeah, You like this track at all?
It's definitely. I'm looking forward to the most out of all of the tracks we've done so far. I felt like I finally found a setup that makes me not want to hate my life every single lap.
Yeah, because
Pretty stable through the bus stop that's pretty much it.
yeah,
I'm not too
That's
scared.
about
It's just that
that's about
uphill
the
right
tough one.
off camber up that
Yeah,
hill. That's probably
that
the
can
only
get you.
place.
Yeah, that'll get you. So I myself am the same exact way. I was looking forward to this race the most as well, just because it seems to be like a car neutral track in my
Definitely.
opinion.
Yeah.
So it comes down to who's done the practice and who knows the track.
Yeah, and speaking of who knows the track, looking at the lap time leaderboards for a D4, we got 3 people in the 44s.
Wow.
Fourth is just a titch under 46, so it's like a second gap to the 4th place.
And you are referencing the lap time leaderboards, correct?
Correct. Yeah, pot laps.
Yep.
Good news. We do have the stream back. I was able to get our times working. I messed with my controls over the week, so that's what happened. But the real shocker, at least what happened in practice before the stream went live and everything, was the fact that Durban Legacy was up there with Ryan Passage, almost a 10th off of him in the practice session. Now that could range depending on what fuel ranges both cars are running, if Durban's on a quality setup, Ryan's on a race setup. So he seems to have the pace, but he needs to be able to hold out and get that racecraft in. As we watch Santer climb up to the top of the tables with a 47.3.
Still a fast track, though. They got plenty of time to.
Oh yeah.
Well, hopefully for Silvers. Gets optimum for a lap.
Yeah,
And
since
for those,
we're in,
go ahead.
since we're in the dark, we probably that optimum won't hit until we get into the latter stages of qualifying. The tracks really start heating up because it is a pretty cold night out there right now. Only 18 degrees Celsius in the air and on track. So gonna need to be watching what the gold times can do, because we should see these times spike at least into the 46s, possibly even 45s, depending on how many people have this track hooked up. As we're watching Kimball cross the line, second up on his time, should put his car right in P4 with 48.1. And everyone's improving now.
Everybody's just getting those tires into the right spot where they need to be to hit those hot laps.
It will be extremely cold for at least the first 2. So keep an eye as we see Connor not able to hook up the bus stop chicane on his lap and puts it straight into the wall. Not what you want to see out of your first lap. You have still about 5 minutes left to go out there and get it, but man, that warm-up window is just gets slower and smaller and smaller and smaller now.
It does, but once you start getting the feel of it here in the dark, it'll show those who actually practiced in the dark, because I myself haven't, so braking points are going to be kind of tough to see, especially with no lights on this track.
Oh, yeah.
All you got is your headlights.
And a lot of the brake marking boards are actually unreadable, if depending on how you're driving. Sometimes you just kind of have to count and know your spot. So big disadvantage if you're relying on the brake board numbers and you don't have very good eyesight.
You're asking me to count and drive at the same time? What is this?
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, but
Yeah, turn 1 though, you can barely see that.
yes.
That's what I'm scared of.
And this is what I predict in the race, is a lot of people are going to be not really worried about track limits unless they're really trying to go for the fastest lap of the race. They kind of throw that car all the way out there and to ignore the no time game, because you can pretty much throw the car out there as long as you're not going flat out all the way through the corner. You'll get the no time gain through there.
And just to throw this out there, we are not condoning abuse
No, not
of track
condoning
limits.
this. No,
We are not
but
condoning.
If it's
Abuse pixels, everyone. Abuse pixels.
Exactly.
If it's anything I've seen in the practice race, a lot of cars were throwing their cars, not really caring about where they stuck the car out there, but it gave them the run all the way down to the bus stop chicane, since they were able to be flat out for more longer. Sometimes when you get on that curb, you can end up being a little squirrely, not really sure how the car will react. So, in qualifying, at least, we'll see people try to at least stick that one tire on the curb and just get that absolute run down to the chicane.
And we did see in the practice race yesterday some people took too much curb and ended up causing an absolute train wreck behind them, as it is a blind uphill corner, and they give you the yellow flags, but there's not much you can see, so it's all about your reactions.
You know, yellow flags. Allen causing a yellow flag in sector 3. Doesn't want to return to garage due to that time restraint, and probably all of his tires are now warmed up to that spinning, but he will just return. Astra doesn't look like he has enough fuel, and they have enough fuel in the tank to continue. That might be their qualifying over. If not, they'll get one more good lap in. And leading the charge is Chad Santer right now, almost 7/10 up on his time. Still holding a 47.3 though. This track has hit optimum, so everyone should be improving their times right about now.
Yeah, and it had just switched about 30 seconds ago. I was watching it. Everybody was in the red, and then all of a sudden, everybody lit up the timing screens with green.
So our big improver actually right now is Bertus. And the Ferrari, he's going to be rounding out, coming down into the boot. He is about a second up on his time, as Santer is only about 6/10 now, but that won't be enough to hold off Bertus. Bertus is on a shot for provisional pole, at least for the silver division right here, right now.
And Santer is crossing the line right now, and he's going to come across the line with a rapid 46.8.
That is a very fast time, and immediately goes yellow. Probably out of fuel there. Bertus absolutely blowing through the timetables right now. A second and 3/10 up. He should blow away his P1 time.
And Ken Miller is up 6/10 himself as well, who's sitting in P2.
Yes, that should improve him to P2. Oh, Bertus invalidated.
Oh no!
He's
and the yellow flag.
pits.
Wow, Bertus, that's unlucky.
Hate to see it as we cast a curse on another poor soul tonight.
Don't say we.
Well, you did it all last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
You were on a roll at 1 week, so I figured I should get in here. So Labello crosses the line, stays P7, improves his time just by a little bit.
And here comes Ken Miller to the finish line, up 6.5 tenths on his time. Could that put him on pole?
It will.
As it does. Provisional pole.
46.7. Not even a tenth. That is 9/100ths of a second. Santer will hold that P2 position as we have under a minute left in qualifying. So everyone that starts their next lap within the next minute will get another lap. Anyone who is in the pits right now is sayonara. So Santer, Bertus, Astra, Allen, Simbolka, all not able to set their time. Their times are locked in. There is also a 8/10 gap, it seems, from P2 to P3, which is absolutely disgusting. Looking to close that gap, Farrell. 8/10 up on their time, rounding out the final corner in their Pepsi car. I would like to see people to start using a little bit more of that curb on the exit to gain just that little bit of time, but he does put his car P3 of 47.3, so not quite in the 46. That is a good time for the silver division, as gold should start funneling out, and Farrell will get another lap. So we will check back in with him, because Labello is improving on their time. Rounding out the final corner. Doesn't look like it'll be enough to improve their position, but we'll just improve their time by a tenth or so. Saying a 48.3. P7 in the silver division is where they hold currently. Connor is still out. Menzies still out.
And he's looking good right now.
He is about 3/10 up on his time. Ken Miller looks to be out, but should be going back in, and he does. Menzies now almost 7/10 up on their time. And as I say that, it all drops away in that final corner. And it actually looks like they backed out for whatever reason. Not sure what happened there, but Menzies will hold their spot, P5. Burrell looking to slightly improve their time a little bit and hook up this last section of track. Like Farrell should be able to do this. 3/10 up on their time. Still not using all the runoff as I hope they would, but that is a McLaren. Doesn't really like curb, so I'll hold my stuff. E3 Farrell will stay, and that will finish off the silver drivers as we look over to the golds. Who is out? Who is our first driver? Durbin Legacy. The man, the myth, the legend. Gonna be our first gold driver. Gonna set that lap.
Yeah, he's
Mr. 44 himself.
it is. He's eager for this one.
He was messaging me, saying this was his track. So keep an eye on him. McLaren is a generally fast car around here since this is a high-flowing track, but like you both were saying, all cars are pretty much evened out here based on how much curb you can take, but Durbin just eats all of that bus stop curb as you can. To be chucking it around there, and his car's not even warmed up, so times will only get better. We haven't had any temperature increase, but we have had the track switch over to optimum about 7 minutes ago. Silver's just got a little taste of it. Golds are really going to be able to get the warm-up laps and get everything in order. Time to be is a 46.6. I think we actually missed that time being set from Kent Miller. I don't think we caught that one.
Think we're seeing 44s today, boys?
It's hard to say on a night track. I think we'll see 45s as the gold drivers ramp up, and we'll see Durbin Legacy set the fastest time on his first lap with a 45.4. And my immediate reaction and answer to your question is yes, we'll see 44s tonight.
No, you didn't even let me answer before you changed your answer.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Selfish.
Sucks to suck.
Because I was going to say yes.
No one really touching Durbin's time already, and he's already a 10th up. Even Ruzic setting their fastest lap a second behind Durbin with a 46.4. They're obviously improving. Everyone should be improving as their tires get warmed up for the next couple laps and the fuel begins to burn away. So Durbin's already looking towards that 44 position. Does look to be on track to set it if he can keep improving his time here. Ryan Passage on your left side of the screen will go P4 with a 46.6. A little bit far off of Durbin, but if there's anyone that can catch Durbin in this quality battle, it will be Ryan Passage himself.
His delta's in the 44s right now.
Yes.
Durbin's on a flyer.
He is about 6/10 up currently on his personal best, and right behind him Ruzic is 8/10 up on his personal best. That won't put him in the 44s, but we'll shove him very mid 45s, even low 45s, depending on how he does this. And Durbin invalidates.
No.
He will have to go around again for that one. Jumping over Ruzic in your picture-in-picture window, he is 9/10 up. We'll join Ryan Passage on the main screen. He is 7/10 up. Looks like he had a moment there last lap.
Now, they say this all the time in qualifying. You can hot lap, but you got to do it for an hour.
Yes, that is the issue we face for some of the lesser known drivers in D4, as sometimes you can just throw down the laps, but when you actually hop into the car with 100+ liters of fuel, it gets a little spicy out there.
It does, and track conditions change from quality to race, especially when it's a morning dark qualifying like this. It's you practice all week for this, you hot lap in the dark, you don't test your race setup, and then all of a sudden you get to the race and you're setting 4-second slower laps.
Like Ryan Passage is going to get held up by Meyer. Sorry about that. We'll still sticker P3. Ruzic goes up P2, 45.7. Continue. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. Just qualifying is one thing compared to a race. So for any of you watching back the D4 race here, all I got to say is don't worry about qualifying as much. The race is when you spend most of the time. It does take an hour. So
this track you can definitely make up a lot of positions as well. If it's anything to show, in the practice race yesterday, I went from P28 to P7 in the D2 and the D1 practice server. So a lot of positions to be made over an hour. Some will come at the start, obviously, depending on how good you can get out of that. Ryan Passage spending this lap backing off as Durban Legacy is spending this lap trying to rev his car up.
Just missed the 44.
Just missed
wow.
it. 45 flat. That's still 6/10 ahead of Ruzic, who is down on their time. And a car I'm kind of surprised to see up here right now is the car of Shepard, the GTR. He is 2.4 seconds off P1, but P11 currently with a 47.4 and is improving by 0.7 right now.
Quick shout out to the boys who are behaving quite well in the pit lane. Thank you for not letting me get out the banhammer.
Yes, they may get those penalties, but they sure do follow directions.
Yeah.
Yes. We see Shepard crossing the line here, improving their time by 0.7. We'll jump up to P7 in that GTR 47.6. Jay Butler on a pretty hot lap, 0.7 up on their time. Hasn't even gone to the boot yet. Now a second up on their time. Will be a good lap, and Ruzic looks to be having a yellow flag, so they will go straight back to pits. They have 6 minutes to get their car back out, warmed up, ready to go, and put in some more hot laps. They try to beat Durban.
And Durban looking like a shoe-in at the moment.
Currently, he is up 0.6 from P2. He's not being able to hook up that next lap, though, so that is a little bit concerning that he's not progressing right now. Butler rounding out the final corner for their fastest lap of the night with a 1 second 3/10 increase in their time. We'll put it P3, 45.8, pulls off to the side, out of fuel, need to go back, refuel, get that car fired up again. You are watching green in your picture-in-picture window. Urban Legacy out. Set their fastest lap, 2/10 up now, looking for the 44s.
He can taste it. He wants it.
He is there. He doesn't have much to improve by. All he needs is 0.07 of a second just to hit.
Just needs to bank it.
Yep. But looks to be crushing that currently. As I say that, absolutely loses a ton of time. There's a car in front of him, but I don't think that should affect him too much. Just pulls out of the way.
And Green improves by 3.5, puts him P4.
Good job on Green. 46.3 for them. Passage having a yellow flag. Gonna have to recollect their car and get ready for this 4-minute shootout. Urban Legacy not able to put in the time. That lap will reset. Try it again. Banderi 2/10 up on their time. Coming down to the heel. And then we'll go up into the tricky uphill left section. And oversteer the car a lot here if you don't control it properly. He controls it pretty good. 5/10 up on their time now. Didn't throw the car out wide enough. Is going to slow down his run over into this next sweeping corner. Needs to hold it within track limits. Will do that. Rides the curb a little bit, rounding the final corner. Throwing that car all the way out there, just enough to miss the curb. I mean, down the straight, 3/10 up on their time. We'll put it P4 46.1 in Durban Legacy. Now 2/10 up on their time.
Shout out to Aoki. 19th to 8th.
Wow.
Second and a
Yeah.
half up.
I just had him in the picture-in-picture, and it was a really good lap.
Absolute blazer. Speaking of blazers right now, no one really on a huge flyer. Durban Legacy almost a 10th up, just trying to hold it. Seems like he's having a tough time in this sector 3 when he gets here now. Not sure what could have happened between the start of his stint and now. It's tire wear getting to him, or if he's in his own head and he really wants that 44, but he's now dropped a 10th down, and he will pull back out of this lap, pull off to the side. I think he will just sit there with that one.
As nobody behind him is improving, so he's sitting pretty at the
Sitting
moment.
pretty, but people do have potential to get 2 laps in, and Durban Legacy will be going back out, so he has about a lap, maybe 2 to warm up his tires if he can. We're watching Sarver 3/10 up on their time.
And I got his teammate Jan Rodricks in the picture-in-picture, who's up 2/10 as well.
And call it Team Target because that's what I see on their car right now. Oh, that's actually their name, Team Target. Okay.
It is. How about that?
Free sponsoring there. Almost 4/10 up on their time. Exiting the heel. It's a pretty good exit compared to their last laps. Ken Miller still holding in the top 10, even though he's a silver driver. Pretty good mix of drivers going on here. Once we start hitting the P13s, when we really start seeing the silvers and the golds mixed together, as green throws a yellow flag, we'll put the car back in the garage. Might be his night. Aoki throws yellow flag. Sarver comes down the pit straight, 7/10 up on their time. Should put this P4, and he does. 46 flat. We'll pull off, bring it back to the garage. That will be his qualifying done, I believe. Passage now on a flyer. Can he get up the Durban Legacy's time? He's only 4/10 up right now, but he has a good bit of track left to improve. We'll need to improve a 2nd and 3/10 though, so no easy task, especially when you're already in sector 3.
It is, but one thing I have noticed with Passage is he can win from just about anywhere in the top 10.
He will just randomly show up in our vision
He
from
will.
time to time, and he actually had an absolute blazing third sector. He's teeter-tottering on this line, and he will put it P1.
Passage. What a lap.
1/100th of a second separates Durban Legacy and Passage. Can Durban match that? He is on his flying lap. This will most likely be his last lap. His Passage is on his last lap as well. 2/10 up already, though.
This could come down to the last lap, boys.
Got ourselves a
definitely will.
showdown.
We got ourselves a shootout at the Glen. What's more American than that?
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
NASCAR at the Glen. Which is an absolute train wreck. But we don't talk about that here. We might have a train wreck lap 1, but we will wait and see.
Oh no.
And Durban.
Yeah,
Durban.
Durban.
No.
Durban will not be improving their lap. This is just a
Is this nail in the coffin? Passage?
essentially a victory lap for Passage. There is a car in front of him, though. He was going 4/10 faster. And the car of Meyer, not their first meeting today, actually ends up blocking him for this lap. Meyer,
He was on track for a 44.5.
Meyer is valid, has a valid lap right now, so he does not have to move. But he is not improving. He's teeter-tottering on it.
Oh no, that's
And he
a
invalidates, and Passage will not improve either. J. Rodricks crosses the line. P5 46.0. If Ryan Passage had that lap, that was going to be a lap for a 44.6, I believe, if he kept that kind
We
of
cursed ourselves.
Yes.
We cursed ourselves. No 44s.
Dang.
Sorry, guys.
We were right there. But
Whoa,
we
it's
will
blinding.
go into the
Good morning.
daytime for the race, and while we wait for the cars to grid up, go around formation lap, who would like to take us through our team standings right off the bat?
Austin, do you have them up or do you want me to take over?
You got it, boss.
Awesome, I
Got
can.
it.
I got that
Do that.
man hammer out.
Oh, he's ready. He is ready.
Team standings are up and ready.
All right, well, as we see, Ryan Passage, our pole sitter today at the Glen, is also our points leader in the Division 4 driver standings, sitting on a cool 432 points, just almost 100 points ahead of P2 of Lucas Clinceres, who has actually got a qualifying ban. So Lucas is going to hopefully make up some positions and some points here. So that gap does not extend, but it's going to be tough with Passage at the very front. But then just going down the order here, the next, oh gosh, we're going to go from P3 all the way down to, we'll say P13 is a split of about 70 points, which is a top 10 finish. So third to 13th is a super close battle. So those guys will be looking for the best result, as Durban Legacy is in that mix, as he is sitting in the front row as well.
And I will say before we switch off of this is still anyone's season, essentially. Maybe not so much once we start looking at 20th back, but a couple of races, if the pieces fall in place and you keep winning, anyone can win this. You could see Connor Farrell win this entire thing.
Absolutely. I mean, if the front two come together, it's anybody's race, as those two were blistering quick.
Now we count through the drivers' standings. Team standings.
Team standings is a little bit bigger of a gap up here as well. The Carolina Reapers with JB Rusick, who is starting P3 on the grid today, and his teammate of Rene Oki sitting at a cool 671 points. So they're looking to finish out the season strong and take home the team championship standings, as the next two boys, as we said, the team Target in the Target Audi is sitting in P2, just a little over 100 points behind. And then you got a tight battle between third, fourth, and fifth with Scuderia Skydust Ronin Racing and the Boba Boys Racing. So those guys are also looking to finish strong to take that last podium team standing point. So we will see what happens here at the Glen today.
I feel like this is the one for these top, at least these individual drivers. This is the one where you really want to hammer it. This is like, I don't know, feels like most people are practicing this track the most. And track conditions, you got a wet race coming up, and then you got Coda, which is known for its track limits. So this is really where you want to snag your points.
Yep.
Indeed.
Most definitely.
So no pressure, guys. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. No pressure at all.
And just kind of looking down the starting grid here, the team that's leading right now in Rodricks and Sarver, the team Target, sitting in P5 and P6.
Indeed.
Consistency.
So
Consistency is key.
that is a good place for the points.
And they're showing that you don't have to win a race to win the team standings.
For Rect Mundo.
As long as you're there, you're good.
And don't die.
Exactly.
So, I do have some information.
Sorry, Loic.
I do have some information for the two of you, whether they just didn't click drive or something. We have two people in the pits.
Oh.
Rigatoni and Fawn.
Hmm.
Not sure what happened there. Just thought I'd point that out as I see the cars warming up their tires. Two people went into pits. Not sure if they forgot to click drive or if this is strategy.
It could be. I fell to that. I fell victim to that last week at a Hungaroring. So wasn't the plan, but it worked out in the end. So we'll see if it works out here.
So I will ask the question to both of you. If you're driving this race and you could pick a line that you want to start on, inside or outside, what line you picking right off the bat?
Probably
Like
the
P1, P2?
outside.
Yeah, if you're P1, P2, or Actually, anywhere. If you're anywhere in this pack, where are you picking?
Dead last. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
I was probably
I meant in the
me too.
line.
Yeah.
In the line.
For me, I'd take the outside line going into turn 1. Just there's more runoff, so if somebody tries to cut you off or is pushing you wide, you've got a lot of runoff and a little bit of a safety blanket out there. And that way you keep your momentum, you keep your speed all the way up through turn 3 and 4 to the bus stop. So,
But if you hit that counterpoint, you hit that curb right. That's such a better run.
that is true.
Can
Yeah.
be,
I don't know. We'll see it play out.
you can also abuse, quote unquote, abuse the track limits. If
Which we don't condone.
We don't condone, but you don't gain a lasting advantage according to the game. You should not get a warning unless you get that extra better run down to the bus stop. All something
that's
to think about.
questionable. Yeah, I've had some questionable runs on the outside where I did not lift and it doesn't do anything. So
So we all are forming up here side by side, passage leading us
Oh.
Durban Legacy on the outside.
There's a car going backwards. There's a car going backwards.
Interesting.
There's chaos
There's
before we even
there's
start.
A couple cars. I know that backpack kind of gets a little rushed into catching up with everyone, or they can get the green going. But we are about to go green here, and we are green. Ryan Passage gets a good getaway. Durban Legacy not really getting the best at all, but he is making that ground back. Passage trying to hold that defensive line back on the inside. Ruzik able to hold his line. Looks like we're getting clean so far. Durban
Looking
Legacy
safe.
and Passage side by side.
Little door to door back here.
Legacy will drop out. While right in behind Ryan Passage. I see
And-
yellows. Big chaos behind. Lots of bumping and pushing by the back of the pack.
oh no.
As
Yeah,
1, 2,
there's
3,
a
4,
lot
5,
of
6,
yellows.
at least 7. The entire back half of the field is in the yellow flag state. Lots of cars spun.
I got the replay down in the picture-in-picture.
Go ahead
Oof.
and watch that while we focus on the front group.
Not sure where this originated, but we're about to see. Oh yeah.
A big slowdown. Seems like one spin kicked off a chain of events.
And that's where I said in the track walk that once there's one car, they will swallow up into turn 2 and 3 and 4.
We have 3 people in the pits already based off of that wreck. Dare I say their names?
It is the team actually of Lucas
Yes.
Contreras and Philip Menzies.
Yes. Is not what you want to see. Aoki actually in a yellow state. He is returning the pits now. Going to tow it. Terrible for him as he started pretty good. Now we see a stop go 30 applied to Zach Sky. Austin, do you have any penalties down there? As we watch Durban Legacy and Passage about to go side by side through turn 1 again. So I might hold you off on that one. Durban Legacy on the outside. He has been this for before in T1. We'll get alongside Ryan Passage here, but not able to hold. Gets a little squirrely on the exit, so Passage will be able to fend this one up through the S's. But what does he have for the bus stop chicane? Durban Legacy is on his inside just a little bit, but not enough to make him go all the way around. We'll just slide in right behind Ryan. Going down to the bus stop chicane. Passage taking the defensive line. Durban Legacy diving to the outside. Who will hold it? Passage will be able to hold P1 as Durban Legacy. Ryan Passage actually goes into the wall. Off track.
Oh no.
Not into the wall. Sorry, was off track. So hands the lead over to Durban Legacy for the first time ever. And Passage will be demoted all the way down.
Oh, and there's a
P12
big
accounting.
wreck. There is a big wreck.
I do see the wreck, and I will get that on replay. I did see Jay Butler have this yellow flag happen.
Oh, he just dropped the rear.
Dropped the rear, came back onto the racing line, unfortunately.
Got to hold your brakes there.
Fortunate for him. Did cause another yellow. Didn't get to see who that was, but now we lead with Durban Legacy, who is a second and 7/10 out in front of Ruzik. Now I'll throw it over to Austin Sawyer to see what kind of penalties we have on the board, if we have any left, if they didn't get served.
Sky just coming out of the pits now. He served his. I think I saw a drive-through before, but got it cleared. A couple of people just teleported. I was just watching the replay. Aoki Menzies kissed, and that set off that big old chain reaction.
Mm.
I do not envy the stewards.
Butler
No, I
is
didn't.
spun around in the second to last turn. No one else collected. Looks like he just got a hand trying to get his car out of the way. He will indeed do that, but not without a little bit of pain everywhere else. Blue flag's already coming into effect. Rigatoni having to get out of the way for pretty much everyone here. Sarver closing down the gap to Ken Miller. What an opening first lap. We definitely went bowling here at the Glen already.
We
There it
did.
is. There it is. Here in Dix, we went bowling.
Yeah, exactly. We see a ton of brake marker or advertising boards being taken out. A lot of debris on the track as Sarver getting really close to Ken Miller has been there. He did have a yellow flag. He did not catch what that happened. Maybe someone else can get that. Sarver and Miller are about to go side by side. This long sweeping right. Sarver trying to go on the outside. Not going to be able to hold it. The Miller will just take this coming down to the next corner. Sarver should have a decent run on this Ferrari. He's in the Audi. Sarver pokes out to the outside. Miller taking that defensive line. Sarver sweeping in. Going to slot in right behind him. See what he can do next. Nothing is really going to come from this part of the track. Very hard to overtake here because we have a lot of sweeping corners. He should be looking down into turn 1 if anything. So we'll stick with this battle.
And down in the picture-in-picture, I got Burtis and Unda. Burtis is just all over the rear of Unda, trying to get past him.
A lot of battles happening everywhere. Durbin saying the fastest
Side
lap
by
of the
side.
race.
Oh no! Unda's pushing Burtis inside. That was a close one.
Rubbins Racing, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. It's the Merc almost going straight into the wall. Wasn't able to save it. Good on him. Or them.
And now Burtis has got to deal with Unda's teammate in Rosa. So we'll see what he does here.
Ryan Passage now itching on the back of that GTR of Shepherds, who's surprisingly in P7 currently. Passage should get the run on Shepard here, and they will go side by side down to the bus stop. Ryan Passage holding the inside. Shepard will just let Passage go. Passage will gain another position in his quest to get back to P1. Shepard taking that bus stop.
Oh, and Burtis spins it, and Rosa hits him. We got. Oh, and oh no, it's kicking off.
That's not a good part of the track to be. Yellow flag
No,
wave. No one
there's
really
cars
being able
everywhere.
to hold or predict it. Someone really
my
into the wall.
Goodness.
Need to slow down when you see that yellow flag, especially on this track.
Yeah, those are blind corners going up the hill.
You will be coming fast as Lobello closing in on Farrell. Lobello poking their nose down on the inside. Farrell able to hold this one off. This long sweeping right, but they will be munching at the bit to try to get by. Same with Kimball and Meyer here side by side. Well, not side by side. Very close though.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars in the P15 to P22 range that just picked up a lot of damage.
Yeah, that damage on Unda does not look good at all. His Durbin Legacy is just driving away with this one, and Kimball getting all squirrely about it, not able to hold his car on track. Looks like it turned in a little too hard. Now Kimball will have to face the wrath of Farrell and Lobello coming behind him. What do you got for us, Austin? What's happening elsewhere on track?
I'm just watching at these huge position gains. We're watching from the back, though.
And I will say Lobello going down on the inside of Farrell. Lobello does hold it properly. Farrell, there is contact there. Still being pushed to the outside. Lobello will hold the inside. Farrell coming alongside Lobello, and Farrell will just give this position back. Whether that was a clean move or not, there was a little bit of contact involved there, but it seems like both cars are just able to continue on going. Lobello will charge down to the bus stop chicane. Who's got the most positions gained already?
Big dub is from Meyer with 13, as well as O'Houlihan biggest losers right now, 17 positions lost, Banderi, 20 Aoki.
Oh,
So
I think
eyes on
Unda,
those guys working their way through the pack.
Unda might be a contender for that, as they are now in the pits for their damage. So see what happens there. Is Kimball closing the door on Meyer, almost a little too hard, going almost right into the back of him. Nothing happening. They're able to hold the car together. As you can see in your picture-in-picture, Sarver and Miller about to have a nice battle.
Server just kind of plays a little bump and run there, as in the uphill left.
Gets the move done though. Doesn't really drop Miller a whole lot. He is still first for the silver division currently, so I believe that'll make his third. That'd be his third silver win in a row.
I believe so, yes.
But that pass does open the door now for both Green and Passage, who are flying coming on the back of Miller and Sarver. Ed Kimball and Meyer still trying to go at it behind, sorry.
And Durbin Legacy pulling out 5 seconds already. And still pulling.
Like we said, we still has to hold in here for another 50 minutes, so even as his car degrades and wears, still needs to do a pit stop in between there as Kimball is flying down on Meyer, getting that slipstream down to the bus stop chicane. No one's going to think of diving there. There is a blue flag in front of Meyer, so it may be a little dangerous, but Kimball does seem to be faster through these corners than Meyer. As this absolute train behind Sarver is forming. Passage just having to wait for Green to make a move on Ken Miller. Ken Miller will just pull out to the side, very aggressively slots in right in front of Passage, and Passage says, none of that. We'll take the inside for this corner. Ken Miller is still holding that outside. Passage will get all of that and will take the position. Very aggressive move by Ken Miller. Aoki, blue flag sitting right behind him.
And we do have a couple people in the pits right now just fixing some damage, so it seems like a lot of struggles with the damage, so we'll see what happens with these guys.
Not what you want to see. Passage now closing the gap to Green, leaving Ken Miller in the dust here. Passage gonna have the big run down here on Green. Will he choose to dive in the corner? We'll just choose to stick behind. Think about the bus stop chicane if he's bold enough. Oh, Green going really wide there. Passage holding the inside here. We'll actually take that position from Green. We'll continue to charge now to Sarver. 2.3 seconds ahead, and then after that, Roderick, Ruzick, and then Legacy.
And that team target, P3 and P4.
Consistency works.
Yes, sir. That's what they like to see.
Ooh, Passage getting really squirrely with it. Can he hold the car together? He does.
What a catch.
Just continue driving on like nothing ever happened.
He doesn't look too stable today.
He does not. I think he is trying to overpush this car right now because he wants to get back to that P1 position, because he's technically the only person that we foresee taking down Legacy at this very moment with that 7-second gap to Ruzick in P2. The Passage does have the pace, he just needs to hold it together.
Oh, we got an accident with Burtis.
Oh no.
Burtis and Allen. Let's see if we can go back here. Oh, in that spot again, turn 2 and 3.
The S's are silent killers.
They are. I predicted this, shall I say? I did predict it. Burtis just teleports to the pits.
Not happy with the race they are having. Ken Miller closing on the back of Green, just kind of using the slipstream to take him around the track currently. Lobello is catching Kimball. Right behind Kimball, Farrell. Very close battle there. See that down in your picture-in-picture window as we will catch Miller just trying to catch up to Green.
Oh, Lobello! That was a close one. That was a close one as it opens the door for Connor Farrell here.
All over the back of Lobello's car, might I say. We'll actually open the door for him to overtake. Kimball does get the job done. And now we see the battle of Labella and Farrell continue on. Aoki, a lapped car all over the back of Ken Miller. Can pass him if he's faster than him, but he will have to not slow him down in return if he does that. If that makes sense. If he can hold a second gap between Miller and himself, I'm not sure why Miller is going the defensive lines here. It's kind of making him a little bit more slow. Actually lost the gap to Green, so unfortunate there.
New king has been crowned. Sky with his stop go started last. Look where he
Wow,
is.
look at him.
13.
P13.
Wow.
He just,
Way to go, Zach.
yep, 3 turns, past 2 people.
Harris looks to have had an incident. Turned around, and that GTR, not the best place to be, but he does find the gap to get out.
I think that's a fitting livery. It looks like NASCAR here, right?
It really does.
They said we weren't doing NASCAR.
I mean, jeez. That would explain the carnage then.
Doing his Kimi Räikkönen impression, I guess.
We could have Kimmy, that would be great. Ryan Passage closing the gap to Sarver, only 7/10 now to the
We
target.
don't have
car.
Kimi. Don't have Kimi, but do we have the drink? That's the question.
I have my big bottle of water because my throat will be killing me by the halfway point of this session. Ryan Passage actually having the fastest lap of the race currently. It's out last lap too. 46-1, and as I say that, gets taken away.
That's by somebody lower. What do we
That is-
got?
R115, it looks like.
Who would have thought?
1:15.
Interesting.
Labello has a moment, and Farrell is able to just go past in the bus stop chicane. Not sure what happened here. Take a look on your main screen. Might have just taken too much curb. Yep, ended up taking too much curb, losing it. Good on Farrell and Kimball to dodge that spinning car. But we'll have to pick up the pieces. It's now we see Ryan Passage getting extremely close to Sarver here on the exit of these turns. Gap from P1 to P2 grows ever more. 8.4 seconds is the gap now.
And I was just watching the gaps here from P1 to P2, and Ruzic was actually kind of matching Durbin. I don't know if Durbin was just not focusing, concentrating, or what, but
We're about to have a side-by-side battle of blue flags in the way. Passage on Sarver down in turn 1. Passage reluctantly pulls out. There was a blue flag taking that turn with them. Passage now all over the back of Sarver, coming up to these S's. Does have the horsepower, no pun intended, to go down to the bus stop chicane and
I gotta go.
overtake.
Low hanging fruit.
I gotta go.
Does poke his nose out, going side by side through bus stop chicane. Sarver will just let Passage go through, and Passage
Oh.
going all the way over into the grass again, losing all
You
that
cannot
time.
go through those barriers either.
You cannot. They will end your car and your race.
And your race.
But a 0.1 gap now grows to 0.5 between Passage and Sarver. All that will have to be made back, and I am watching a GTR car come up onto the back of a Ferrari, which I never thought I'd say in my life.
Yeah, well, I was watching it now.
Oh, you can continue watching it because
No, I
Kimball
switched.
is closing the gap to Farrell.
Oh my god, I was on Kimball. Make up your mind. So I was just about to say, the car was Shepard. I just noticed. And ironically, looks like a classic Dale Earnhardt livery.
It does.
Yes.
And I actually think if you pair him and his teammate cars, I think Shepard has the classic Dale Earnhardt livery, while his teammate is it Harris? I believe it's Harris. Harris has the red painted livery for Earnhardt. If I'm not
Earnhardt
mistaken.
Jr. I think that is correct. That's a great little touch.
I actually think their team is called the Earnhardts.
Oh, how about
Hold
that?
on, let me just flick on over. It's GTR done too, so I lied.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that from.
I thought I saw something, but we move. Ryan Passage back to closing the gap to Sarver, 6/10. As we talked about Shepard way too much in the GTR, the gap has fizzled out.
It's got a nice livery though, so
Does
he's
have a
got
nice
that
livery. He has such a nice livery that he actually pulled the gap right back in the 4/10. So
One car has touched a 45 yet.
That only one car has touched a 45?
Yep. Yeah. Closest is the 47.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
No,
One.
46.
Sky 46.
Yep. Passage 46-1. Devin Legacy 46-5.
Of course, he just hits that one. Man, this data guy, get him out of here.
Yeah, come on. Still on board with Ryan Passage. 3/10 is the gap to Sarver right now. Back of this target car, if we go on board, you can see how much control Passage has. Sarver just trying to toy with the Audi here. Down the main stretch, is there enough of a slipstream to poke their nose out? Not going to be. We'll take the tighter line here, so might have a better run out of turn 1 here to try to redo the bus stop move, maybe not go into the grass this time. We'll take a look, same with Shepard as they mess up their turn 1, so probably won't be seen a move out of them. That Audi power kind of saving Sarver here in the straights. Otherwise, Passage would have been blown by him a while ago.
That is the one upside about the Audis. Is that it forgives you.
Well, you have talked so much junk on the Audi this season, based on just what our tracks have been. Now we come to a track where the Audi is actually competitive. So, has your thinking changed on the Audi anymore?
Yeah, I thought last week I kind of ripped on the Audi. I felt bad, but just I looked at results. I saw that the Audi was kind of top 10 in about every division, and I actually myself came from dead last, and I believe it was 24 positions I gained at the end of the race. So it worked. So.
Don't get us wrong, the Audi got massively pooped on with the balance and power updates. I think it took at least me and you a little bit of time to kind of hone in the setups and actually make them drivable.
Yeah, but unfortunately it took us too long to hit that point.
Yep, and now we will switch cars.
Yep.
Ryan Passage getting a little squirrely, or else he would have been all over the back of Sarver on this straight. We've had a chance to overtake him. Instead, we'll slot behind. Try again for another bus top. Chicane overtake. Try to get this run on Sarver. It's very hard to do in the Audi. And doing it through these S's is not an easy task either.
And just looking at the clock, we do have 2.5 minutes till the pit window.
We do see a yellow flag on track. Not sure what it is. Maybe our data guy, Austin Sawyer, could give us the update on that car. 838.
838. Oh, moment.
Stands
I missed him.
car. As fine as Ryan Passage is looking down on the inside of Sarver here. Ruzic has a yellow flag. Not sure what happened to him. Sarver will be able to hold off this position on the inside. Passage just trying to hold off any kind of speed as they drive right by Aoki, it looks like. Or Ruzic, who was in the wall. Passage down on the inside. We'll be able to get this move done finally on Sarver. 4-5 long laps behind Sarver. He now has this clean air to get moving to go to Roderick, 6 seconds ahead. And after that, Durbin Legacy, who will be 17 seconds ahead. We are looking at that pit window, so if there's any time to under or over cut, now is the time. But if you are up in this top pack, you're going to be looking to stretch your stint to the very end.
And just to remind anybody who is unaware of the pit requirements, you are not required to take any tires. You are required to take at least 1 liter of fuel.
I will say this isn't a extremely tire heavy track, so I would be very closed off to a tire change window, but I could be wrong. I haven't driven the McLaren, I haven't felt it. If it's a very high downforcey car, so it could wear out those tires more than other cars.
Potentially. I just don't think...
I don't think it's viable, personally.
I don't think so. I don't think in these hour-long races that tire change is viable unless you're really struggling just to finish the race, then possibly. But fighting for position, I don't think it. Oh, and Zach's guy, yeah, this is the replay. But what I was saying, that the tire change, it's hard. It would be hard to make up that time, 30 seconds in a pit stop, just because everybody around you is in the same division, which meaning they are the same pace. So,
Gaps.
But I could be wrong. So
Could be wrong. We could see a wild card come out of the play as gaps have started to form around track. No one within a second of each other just yet, as Durbin did have a moment, whether that was blue flags a little bit ago. He actually lost about 2 seconds from Roderick's. So unsure what happened there, as we are on board with him now behind Menzies. He chooses not to pit in.
Yeah, it was just blue flags for Duncan Durbin.
Duncan Durbin.
been there. He is the first one to bite into the pit window.
I believe he has a little bit of damage on his car.
Sure,
Looking at pits, we got Rigatoni 3 pits so far.
That's huge.
As we will see some yellow flags pop up, but that is just because there's some cars slowing for the pit entry.
Correct. Mundo, pit entry is a little bit weird on this track, and we have been told that you should set up your pit entrance before the final turn, so hug the right side and get within the pit entry lines. Fate has told me that that's not what always happens, as just last night in the practice race I saw someone take that corner as fast as they could straight into the pits.
We seen a drive-through?
It's not a drive-through. They took the racing line and slammed the brakes.
I'm saying, are we calling one?
I'll call. I mean, if someone does that, then yeah,
Speeding.
I'll call a drive-through. But I don't think someone will have a drive-through if they're gonna hug the right side before the turn. Personally, did we see Mr. Ryan Passage go into the pits?
He did. He dove right in. So he's looking to get past Steven Sarver with an undercut.
Well, he got past Steven Server already.
I missed that.
So he'll be looking to undercut Roderick's, but that would be a massive 5-second gap. And if he could get a almost 20-second undercut, the Durbin Legacy, that'd be even better. It looks like he's struggling a little bit to warm up them tires again. This is a little bit warmer than qualifying, about I think 4 degrees more. We're at 21 degrees Celsius on track and in the air. We'll check in back with Ryan Passage. He has a lot of open air to work with, and so does Durbin Legacy, so I don't foresee him pitting anytime soon either.
Moves to extend 100% for Duncan Derby.
Duncan Derby, as I see a stop go 30. Who is that, Austin?
Oh man, I'm scrambling. I was watching Durbin.
Oh no.
Oh man. Stop go 30 for Mr. Santer, 988. I hate to see it.
He had a great qualifying too for the silver division. Wasn't too far behind Ken Miller, so hate to see it. P17 he goes down to P18. Will eventually probably drop into the 20s. The age-old battle of Labello and Kimball come back to them on track. As our boy Austin Sawyer will be keeping out for pit watch for your top drivers.
Oh, and Bendera, he drifts that corner. I don't think you're supposed to do that, buddy.
If it's faster, we Tokyo drift it.
I guess so.
Just
when you're
have
down
to
there,
say.
worth it.
Labello really closing in on the back of Kimball, Trying to get this McLaren all the way down on the inside. Needs to hold that slipstream line. They do not have the power to outpower that car. Will he poke his nose out or their nose out? No. We'll just hold this line behind Kimball. There's lots of other overtaking places to do. Bus stop chicane is the more dangerous spot to do it in, but it is possible. Bello just looks 10 times faster than Kimball right now, especially in these corners. It's just the power of that Aston Martin, I believe that is, just letting Kimball stay in front. Just the wideness of the car. Labello not knowing what to do. Kimball actually runs wide. Labello is going to hold a very tight line here. Actually going to go side by side with Kimball here down to turn 8. Is able to go out in front of Kimball. Kimball pokes their nose out. Not going to do it. We'll just slot right in. Labello taking this corner very deep. Kimball actually spinning in the background. Keeps the car out of the wall. Labello will just drive away with this one.
And Green, who was sitting in P4, was actually cruising up to the back of Steven Sarver as he dove into the pit. So he's also looking for an undercut.
Ryan Passage has finally hit some traffic in his endeavors to gain some time on the people in front. Luckily for him, both of them are going to the pits. So lots of free open air in front of him, and the next car is a blue flag, so keep a look out for that one, as again the gaps have calmed down again. Urban Legacy has built his gap to 20 seconds now from P2, but we are halfway through that pit window, so it's about time we start thinking of when the pit does have a little bit of space here to work with before he needs to absolutely pit, but see what he does on this lap around.
Yeah, he'd come out, if he was to pit now, he'd come out right between Steven Sarver and Rustic with a little bit of clean air. So
that's where you don't want to be, in my personal opinion, because one of them will have to pit, and you are the faster car there, so you are going to catch them.
Kimball had to reverse it in the pits. We don't want that.
Oof.
Urban Legacy will go around one more time.
Along with Rodrix and Sarver. And Rusik.
Green coming up on Ken Miller. Not to be confused with Kyle Miller of D3.
Sarver into the pits. P3.
We'll see if the undercuts worked from Passage and Green.
Passage has about 27 seconds to make up to Sarver, which I think he will be able to do. This is car 115 off in the bus stop chicane. It looks like they're just trying to rejoin. Not sure what happened there or where 115 is. Green able to get past Miller. Probably one of the unlikely overtaking spots, but still able to do it. He will just drive away into the sunset. Ryan Passage able to get the jump on Sarver. Sarver just now leaving his pit box, or just now leaving pits. The Passage will have a good jump on Sarver here.
And when Rigatoni is parked vertical on the track.
Not again.
Let's see what happened to Rigatoni.
This corner.
Yeah, I think so. He just drops it on the exit. Yep.
Oh,
and Santer behind him also went into the wall on the exit.
yeah, that wasn't on Rigatoni though.
No.
Rigatoni has not been having the best of races here.
Urban's got another lap. Let's see if Rodrix Ruzix are pitting.
Urban goes around this one more time. He will have to pit this lap now.
Rodrix in. Clean pits, that's what we need.
Now we see if Passage has about 30-second gap to Rodrix. It is doable to catch Rodrix here on the undercut. He did it with Sarver. Sarver came out probably around the 27-second marker, I would say. So, gonna be a close one here.
It is, and Rusik is also going to follow Durban Legacy around one more time.
Yeah, they will have
Rodrix having a little slower of a pit. So it's a couple of, 3-4 seconds, it matters. Just that stoppage time. He was at 12-second pit.
Yep. And Passage will get the overtake done here. The undercut works for him as there's a yellow flag on Shepard. Go back in time for this one. As looks like he just lost it out of the bus stop chicane. Does heavy damage on that GTR car though.
Yeah. I bet you he bounced off of that wall there.
Yeah. Fortunate for him, Urban Legacy 42-second gap from Ruzick should pit this lap. If not, there will definitely be a penalty given out to him. He does go into the pits here. Let's see if Passage can do the probably undoable here of making up 60 seconds to Durban Legacy.
Well, you gotta include pit stop, so it's about 40.
That is true.
Not that that's much different, but it's still a factor.
Watching him. I'm looking for a clean pit here, Durbin.
Like he did get a clean pit, but to let us know how fast that stop is.
Yep. Bello, stop and go 30. Did you catch that?
I did not catch that. It's unfortunate as they were on a run. Fine Passage having to deal with Unda in front of them. Not what you really need when you're trying to catch the leader here.
No, it is not. And
Unda will move out of the way.
Clean. Clean by Durbin.
Durbin is out of the pits.
10-second pump.
So now the real challenge for Passage happens as he undercut it all the way up the P2, surprisingly. Good on him.
And he's only got a 17-second gap here, so...
Only?
Only. So...
This will be the battle of the hot lappers, giving that no blue flags come into play here.
Consistency is key at this moment of time.
Correct. You don't want to start falling asleep. We are past the 25-minute marker, so this is where you could start losing focus in the race if you haven't really raced a ton of hour-long races. Especially if you're Durbin, if you start sleeping and you start going, this allows Passage to just build up that time and get right back into the fight.
And Passage actually comes up on Menzies, the lap car.
Unfortunate for him. Durbin will have to go through more lap cars as well, as Menzies should just get out of the way here. Ends up doing so. Durbin is coming up on car 703, then right after that 522. Then there will be a gap, and then there's a decent sized 3-group car right there, probably of just all blue flags. I see Banderi has 4/10 to the car in front of him. Fallen, he's slow out of turn 1. Banderi really wants to get high, but not able to do so. Will actually shove himself on the outside of the S's and will get the move done right then and there. Rizza now about 5/10 away from Harris in front of them.
Car 115 lost it in the chicane. It missed his braking point.
Oh,
Hate to see it. The bus stop claims another victim.
always does, as Rosa closing on the back of Harris. Labello pulls into the pits to do their stop go 30. To drop Labello down the leaderboards pretty much, as Rosa able to overtake Harris. Harris got a little too wide on that turn. Gives Rosa an easy passing attempt, and now the gaps have calmed down again, and the gap that seems to be growing ever more happens to be Durbin Legacy. 18, almost 19 seconds now from Passage.
Yeah, he came out the pits flying.
It looks like that gap is due to a couple blue flags I see in the back. Durbin just needs to keep it clean now, and he should be on for his first race win. But we also see D. Meyer now closing the gap to Kimball.
And Rodriguez and Starr are P3 and P4 in the target team. They're going to finish it this way. They're going to extend their lead even more.
That is insane.
Hell of a team right there.
Very, very.
Also, shall I mention that in the Audi, That's it.
Full target team.
That's all I had to say. Yeah, in the Audi, the car that I have talked so bad about this season.
They're
They
just
have proved
proving you
everything
wrong.
I've said has been incomplete compared to their driving. So shows what I know.
Meyer getting some good runs here on Kimball with that Audi engine. As we're saying, is Kimball messing up in the bus stop chicane, forcing Meyer to actually go off track here. Kimball into the wall. Meyer's going to let the blue flag by. Kimball will lose that place and probably a good bit of damage. It doesn't look that bad. Whatever face is on the front of his car doesn't look banged up. So, move along. Passage and legacy gap really hasn't changed since Passage was able to get past the blue flags. He now has a good bit of space to go by. So he reaches another one. Urban Legacy will actually hit some blue flags here. The blue flag of Labello will lap P13. Could possibly lap P10 here as well. What we got going on around track, Austin? What haven't we seen?
We're watching our purple lap holder car 115 just pass 25th, 24th.
That car did have a quali ban, so to see them at least making up some positions.
Yeah, up 5 from it.
Mm-hmm.
But his counterpart starting from the back, Mr. Sky, up 15 though.
Mm.
In 15th.
Urban Legacy losing some time. The blue flags, not a whole bunch. Labello did a good job of getting out of the way, but that probably about 5/10 loss there. That's when Legacy thought it couldn't get worse. It's car number 418 to go by next.
Now, put yourself in Durbin's shoes. You got 19 seconds to the car behind. Are you pushing or are you just driving safe?
Oh.
Easy. We're just taking him to the grocery store. Soccer mom style.
I think you're driving safe here. I mean, if you're especially through that bus stop chicane. Once you start seeing that gap close down to maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then you can start kind of putting the pressure down again. You could honestly even lift off an engine map here if you really wanted to. Just if you're that concerned on fuel, as Kimball will let Legacy by. Very easy time there.
Because just looking at Durbin's lap times, he's not letting off at all. No. He is foot on the throat till the very end. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him.
It could spell his demise, but he did tell me this was his track, so see what happens here in the final 18 minutes. Still anyone's game to play for, as Legacy can make a pretty big mistake and absolutely damage. The second you damage that McLaren car is the second you lose everything that McLaren car has.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a top speed that, or it has speed, but it's not the quickest in a straight.
Nope.
And then you take away its best attribute, and you're driving a Fiat at that point.
That car is all aero.
Speaking of cars performing and not performing, we have one Honda top 22.
The Honda has not looked good at this track at all.
Even just watching some of these drivers here, we have 3 Ferraris in the top 6, but they've just kind of looked like a handful to drive around here.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going with a safer setup that I can handle rather than the cracked esports setup that I die.
I definitely went for my fast setup in the Audi here. It was pretty good. It was pretty agile, so good on the Audis to make a good appearance here. Sadly couldn't do that for Spa.
I'm sure you're not feeling too comfortable seeing that there is only one Honda in the top 20, Austin.
That's something great. I think there's a couple Hondas towards the bottom, and then I think a couple Hondas hit that Alt F4 button.
Yep. I did notice starting from the back last week that I did pass you as you were going backwards.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, no, we won't. I just
all we gotta say is I'm sorry, Loic. I wish I was better. He appreciates.
Battle on track.
I
right
try.
now.
I try.
Battle on track right now. Zach Sky is actually catching Brule and Labello, almost going straight into the back of Brule here on turn 1. Brule not able to keep the speed up. Sky went all the way by him. Trying to get that inside, peeking the nose down in there. We'll go side by side through the bus stop chicane with Brule actually choosing not to. Going to slip right back into the slipstream. Going to follow him around one more time. This is a very small gap. Labello is in front. Putting his car a little wide. Going to lose some time there. Sky trying to size up Brule and where he can take him. We'll go down on the inside here. Is able to hold the position. And we'll get that overtake done on Brule. It's just his sights towards Labello now. Very clean overtake done with just under 16 minutes left. Sky trying to fight for all the points that they can get out of this race.
That's the first challenge.
I'd love to see that.
He's got half the grid down.
Only the harder half to go.
Yeah.
I believe Zach Sky would be someone we would like to talk to see how he made his way up the ranks. Say that gets a little squirrely on the exit there, so he's going to lose some time to Labello in front. Your current leader for the gold division, obviously Durban Legacy, almost 19 seconds ahead of Passage. Ken Miller again leading the silvers today. Just behind him, Farrell. Farrell, not really someone to the upper portions of silver. They are here as Zach Sky continues to close the gap to Labello. Just has that turn 1 really locked down compared to Labello and all other cars currently. Making their way up to the bus stop chicane. Going to happen, as I say. Connor flashes a yellow on my screen.
And Dan Meyer as well. Dan Meyer just lost it in turn 1.
Hate to see it. Labello, much more cleaner bus stop compared to last, but really slow through there. Zach Sky really wanting to get by. Going to hold the inside here. Labello will just hold the outside, try not to let him through. Does hold the speed. Will slot right in front of Sky. Will hold that position for the time being. Actually goes too deep, and Sky will come right back down on the inside and will take that position. Thank you very much. Move along with their day. Looks 10 seconds forward to Shepard. First, the 3 blue flag cars in front of him. That gap's still not coming down between Legacy and Passage.
And I did the math between those two. For Passage to catch up to Durban, he needed to average a lap time gain of 1.3 seconds. And at the moment, he was averaging about 0.3, and the last lap he was down 1/10. So, not looking likely for Passage. P2 is still good.
As you were explaining that, Rosa absolutely annihilating the front of their car. Doesn't pit that massive damage on that Merc. 13 minutes to go, so might not be worth it. The Shepard is closing up on the back of Astra. Legacy proving that gap. And what really sucks, if you go back to the start of the race and think about if Passage did not have that one moment Tango with a couple other cars, he would be all good. But Durban Legacy has a yellow flag. He is off.
No.
In turn 1, we'll have to wait for a couple cars to pass. Passage, now's your time to make up all this. Does get going again, but the gap is now down to 8 seconds and still dropping.
Hit us with that 30-second replay. See if he hit the wall or not.
Well, I don't think he did. It looks like he did hold it. Just cooked her a little too hard on the exit. Held it out of the wall. Just barely. Those tires will be a little hot right now.
Yeah, that was a very good save. But he is in trouble at the moment.
Yes. Gap 7.8 seconds. right now.
W for the fans. We want to see it.
W for the fans. We do want to see a
Pumpkin
battle.
takes the L.
Sorry, Durham, but if you could just press the brake a little bit more, that'd be great.
And speaking of fans, I just looked at the chat. I'd like to blame this on Nate Specht, who was pushing Durbin to go so fast.
Yep.
That,
Cursed him.
So-
We didn't do it this
so
week.
Nate, if you're still here, that one's on you, buddy.
We didn't curse him this time.
No, we did not.
Shepard now closing on the back of Astra very fast in that GTR, surprisingly. On the Lamborghini. Coming up to the bus stop chicane, once the outside line, we'll think twice of it. Actually, we'll take the outside line. Astra goes very shallow, very, very shallow. Yet the run through it will hold that position. Shepard forced the back out very hard, losing all of the time he gained. Passage closing the gap. Did Durbin have another moment?
He's probably still trying to recover.
It is mentally draining if you do that and you just watch your gap on the left side of your screen just continuously drop and drop and drop and drop. Shepard trying again on Astra, sticking their nose out very early, try to come down to this braking zone. Not going to do it this time, so we'll just hold off here. GTR seems to be having the power on the Lamborghini, but not able to overtake it in the corners. I do think Durbin hit some blue flag traffic, and I think passes have just now hit that as well. So, equal time gain, equal time loss.
You guys know how many people we started with? We're down to 27.
Wow.
I want to say 36.
I was going to say,
Yes.
it was 36 or 38. I couldn't remember. It was one of those two.
So Shepard gone very wide on Astra, and they hold the power down to the bus stop chicane. Doesn't look like it, so they will sit back another lap and just thread in. Just over 9 minutes left. Passage, if you're listening to us right now, it's time to get a move on, brother.
Let's go faster. Come on.
Come on. Let's see it. Durbin does have a good bit of clear air in front of him to work with. We'll hit some blue flag traffic in a little bit. Should help close the gap just a tiny bit. The Passage does need to put his foot to the floor like now.
If you're Durbin, seeing that turd one though, is that not PTSD?
Oh,
Every
it
time
is.
you're coming up on it, you're like, just don't send it. So
He actually lost 5/10 in that turn compared to Passage. He has gained about three of it back going up to the bus stop chicane, so I'm not sure what he did, if he's abusing that track limit rule, like we said.
He most definitely is, because his last 3 laps have come back red.
It's not what you want to see. You're an admin. Definitely not what we want to see here. We want to see fair racing, no
straight to jail.
straight to jail. Exactly.
As one of those laps was a 159 from his spins, so that one might not have been his fault.
Well, you know, that's
Give
not...
him a pass on that lap hold.
Yeah, we'll let him
Yes.
buy on that one, but...
Because he really did go really far on that runoff, just the wrong way.
I think I saw Rosa dive into the pits there. Looks like they need to clear a drive-through.
That was probably of track limits.
Shepard trying to close this gap to Astra for multiple laps now, actually poking their nose very far on the inside before they even reach the turn. Tries to be late on the brakes, not going to be able to do so. We'll have to back out and again lose all that time gain that they just did over the past couple laps.
Everybody's just kind of sitting in their own little bubble in space here, with blue flags spread out all over the place.
I mean, if you're Passage, this isn't the worst if you don't win this race, but, you know, for the audience, we want to see fight. We want to see fight,
do.
blood. Well, maybe not blood, but we want to see some fighting. Actually, Legacy looks like he got held up by 2 blue flags a little bit. Not too much of a loss. What will suck for Sarver is that he will meet those blue flags in a little bit more of a twisty area. Shepard almost sending it down on Astra. Astra actually getting a really squirrely from Unda, the blue flag, into the wall, into Shepard. Unfortunate series of events. Shepard's just going to drive off into the win. That
Big
one.
W for Sky, 19 places.
How about that? I was just about to say, I'll
Jeez.
attack Sky with 2 more free Bs.
Astra,
Driver there.
Astra towed back to the pits with 6 minutes left in the race. Hate to see it. Speaking of 6 minutes left in the race, Passage. 6 minutes, 7 seconds. Come on, man. That's about 2 seconds a lap here. Let's go. Turn the burners on.
2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, the lap's almost 2 minutes. Oh, wait. Brain's functioning. Hold on.
You got this.
No, I'm going to leave it up to the math guys. I'll just stick the coin out, whatever's on screen as Durban Legacy will reach some more blue flags. Getting extremely lucky with these blue flags just landing by on the straights, not meeting them in the Sector 3 twisty areas. Getting very lucky with these. Ryan Passage not getting so lucky. He actually will meet Meyer here on turn 1 and will compromise his S's, or not Meyer. Houlihan. Compromise his S's and his exit. I think Passage might just be slotting in here.
And we haven't talked much about Green in P5. He's been putting in some quality laps. Just kind of been in a quiet place. So he's been having a decent race.
Hammer 47s the whole race, and you get top 5.
Absolutely. And
Avoid
he's
damage.
out of trouble.
Keep your nose out of trouble.
Exactly.
I'm trying to see what car is up to.
I believe it is P. The top 10 are the only ones on the lead lap, I believe.
I think so. I think you're right on that. When Durban crosses the line next, we'll get an accurate number on who he lapped and who he hasn't. We'll keep an eye on him. And Sarver is actually on a charge to a Rodrix. He has 1.2 seconds to his teammate.
Well, we see the team game come into play.
1 second. I doubt. 18 second gap to Passage. Very, very hard to do. And it looks like the lapped cars, lead lap cars are up to P8 or 9. If I read that correctly when you cross the line. So that is, I think that's more than 3/4 of the field that Durban Legacy has lapped.
Well, and you got to count the 10 to 15 people that actually left the race. So
That's in the chat. For those poor lost souls.
he feels for them. As
Can you
AO.
even imagine leaving a race? I couldn't imagine even doing that ever.
Me neither. Nope, never. Especially like a track.
Couldn't be me. Even if I had damage, 3 minutes of damage, you know what? I couldn't even leave.
That's just 3 minutes less you have to race.
I think Bailey has been lying to us a little bit. Sarver and Rodrix are not on the same team. In fact, Sarver is on Team Target as Rodrix is on Baseline Racing.
Oh.
And Sarver and Rodrix are about to go side by side with a blue flag in the mix.
I don't believe I've been lying because they asked me about the livery of the 133. So I am not sure about that.
Interesting.
Yes, I am very unaware.
To me,
That
they
was
are on
just-
separate teams right now. Sarver trying to get past Rodrix. Maybe not trying to get past, but in my head, they will be trying to get past. Every point counts here. Pokes his nose out just to see where that braking zone is. Might set something up on the front stretch. I just see a yellow on my screen. Not sure where it is, though. We'll instead stick with the battle on the main screen.
Sorry, just gonna go down here to this yellow flag of Kimball down P10. See what happened to him. Looks like it just. Oh, didn't go far back. I believe he just dropped the rear end and. Oh, he is still crashing. Still
Trevor
crashing.
Roderick's
Oh,
on the team.
that was a heavy one.
What was that, Austin?
They are on the same team. Confirmed.
That's what I
But-
thought.
They're really proud of
different.
us for knowing that. Sorry, guys.
They have 2 different team names in game and what looks to be 2 different liveries on. So, don't blame us.
Yeah, we got
I was
the
right. I'd like an
Mambu.
apology.
Yeah.
We have under a minute left as once Durbin crosses the line next, it will be a final lap, then race over. Sarver and Roderick, since they're on the same team, probably won't fight, but would have been nice to see. As Kimball is in the pits, not sure about that one. Unless he has a meatball, then he would have to.
Roderick's is higher in the standings, so I don't think we're going to see a swap for.
It's 1 point, boys. Just fight it out.
Just let him play.
Let him play.
Let the dogs eat.
Yo, can we get a crikey in the chat? You guys watched Formula One this weekend?
We did.
I did. What are you referencing?
Russell, when he hit Mick, just goes
Oh.
crikey.
You are correct.
Okay, lap 1 was definitely a crikey moment.
Oh man.
Just a little bit. But
They
are
left
we gonna-
space for each other.
Did they?
No. A Russell amount of space.
Get the paper out, boys. As Durbin Legacy is on the final lap of the race. Unless he doesn't absolutely bin the car here, he should be able to do it. So he can just take his time going around here. 12-second gap. Passage has lifted his foot off of the throttle as well, as the last lap is not a pretty one. Durbin actually downshifting a little bit more than he needed to in that corner, but I'm not
When you're
here to
in front,
judge. Sorry, go ahead.
I said when you're in front, it don't matter.
Very true. If these 2 teammates could start fighting, that'd be great. I want to see some
Or
side-by-side drag
115.
racing action.
Car 115 gets another overtake.
Good for him. Puts him in the
Up
P29.
9.
And we determined our big winner is Zach Sky, as I see yellow on my screen again. Oh, and it is Brule. Brule has spun out. Actually, will be able to finish the race now as soon as he crosses the line.
Maybe that was planned.
Maybe. Durbin Legacy rounds out the final corner, and to my knowledge, as long as he doesn't... Careful there, Durbin. You know what?
He's
Put it,
weaving.
park it right now.
He won't.
He will
won't.
finish the race P1. That will be his first win ever in SRA, to my knowledge. Burn it down, brother. Do some donuts if you want. Passage will go across in P2.
There it is.
Yep, there are the donuts.
Dunkin'
And
Donuts.
one donut. One Dunkin'
That's it.
Durbin.
And here comes Sarver and Roderick's and Team Target.
Yep.
Confirmed Team Target.
Confirmed team target.
RJ.
P9.
Great haul.
Those classy fools.
Great haul of points by those boys.
P9 has already crossed the line already for the finish. P3 to Roderick's. P4 to Sarver.
We gotta get Sky in the chat.
We will indeed get
Chad
Sky.
Maximus.
Green
20
crosses
positions.
the line. Ken Miller winning the silver division this week. P6. Ruzik behind him. P7. Barrel. Silver P2. A little bit farther back, but
He's still got a couple of tough corners left, so let's not.
still got a couple of cars. Who should we bring in for interviews?
I think the obvious.
We gotta call Durbin out for a shoey.
Exactly.
First race win. We gotta see it.
Gotta.
Some milk, water, I don't care.
No.
Ilk, yes.
Some non-promotional energy drink that may
There you
cause you
go.
a heart attack. Braille will cross the line to finish off the race. Order, Kimball, and Robichard will cross over in a little bit, but that will be your finishing order. Legacy and Passage going fisticuffs in the hot lap battle. Didn't go all according to plan for Passage, so hate to see it there, but is what it is. He does still hold his P1 position overall. What are your guys' thoughts on the race before we start grabbing everyone?
What a race!
Lap
What a
one though.
race.
Come on,
Yeah.
guys.
That
Come
was
on.
hectic.
I
Yeah,
hate to see it.
that was more than
Clean
half
it up
of
or
the
straight to
field.
jail, boys.
More than half the field was definitely
Straight
under
to
yellow
jail.
flag at some point. As who do we pull in first? Who's blasting about here?
See who you can find. I'll tell you what though, that was a quick hour.
It was indeed a quick hour, not a quick hour for my voice. My voice is dying. a little
Yeah, I'm
bit
sure.
here.
We're proud of you. You did it.
Thank you.
That just meant we didn't have to host.
That is
So true.
do see Ken Miller, and I'm gonna absolutely snatch him. We have him. Ken Miller, another win under your belt for D2 or D4 silver. How you feeling securing that lead even farther for the silver division?
Yeah, Bertus has been pretty fast in the last couple races. I'm really happy that I can just gain the advantage by a little bit, because today the race, my only goal is be faster than him.
I mean, if it secures you the silver win, I mean, do whatever you need to do. Did you have any specific race strategy going into this one? I know some people kind of struggled on determining if they want to do the entire full tank or even just starting from the pits to avoid the lap one carnage that we saw.
Yeah, I actually, because I never end up, I'm a kind of person, I always practice with a full fuel load, so I'm really comfortable with my race pace. The whole strategy is basically fight the fight I can, be in the fight that I can win, and let everybody go. For example, Milo Green is my teammate, and he's in gold. I have no reason. Yeah, I have no reason to fight him. To be honest, I actually try to defend for him as much as I can, which works out just fine. I just need to basically be steady. I was spawning out in bus stop chicane a lot, but now I take it very slow. I lose a little bit of time, but I end up surviving the whole race, which is, that's kind of the only thing I have to do.
If it gets you the silver win, and I think P7 overall, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, if I'm not fighting with Sarver, Steven, he's basically the same pace as me in the first couple laps, but then I realized, we are going to lose a lot of things if I keep fighting with him. So I let him go. And Milo, he's 6 seconds faster than me. And I was like, there is no reason for me to fight with him. And I'm just happy. It's another top 10 finish. That's what I aim for.
And you teach everyone else in D4 this.
This is good racecraft.
Logic, this thinking, this racecraft.
Yeah, and I am, I might not be the fastest, but I always can put my car in the right place, which is I'm proud of it, and I hope everybody else does it. It was a really uneventful race, to be honest, from the beginning to the end, and I'm just happy.
Well,
congratulations. We're proud of you. Good job.
Congratulations to you and your, I think this is like third silver win in a row.
Really? I don't think. No, I think last race was Bertus was faster than me, and he was faster than me a lot. And I'm still have to be careful with the last two races because everything could happen. I just hope I have my, before I get sent out to D5, I hope I have a win, a championship, drivers championship.
You sent out the D5. Boy, you're going up, Chief. You're going to D3. But if anything, you're going to gold.
Yeah.
So
gold will be fine too.
Enjoy the win for now.
Right.
Come back next week. I believe we are at Wet Suzuka, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I drove the endurance, and I hope that will help me a little bit on saving myself.
Well, good luck in that. Hope to see you win that again. Have a great night.
All right, you too. Thank you very much.
We got Durbin ready. Cool down room for us.
The man, the myth, the legend. The Durbin Legacy, the winner, first time ever winning an SRA. How you feeling?
Good.
Nice.
Man of many
Very
words. Love it. Love
enthusiastic.
it. Fast in qualifying, I believe Passage just beat you out by a little bit. Was there any strategy kind of going into that start, whether just to let him go or just try to beat him out turn 1 and hot lap from there?
I was trying to let him go.
I love the fact that you tried to stick with him, and you just ended up doing your race, getting to that kind of hot lap area, playing it out to the end. So congratulate you on your first ever win in SRA. Hope to see you up top again next week at Wet Suzuka.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Durbin, before you go, we got to ask you, what are you going to do to celebrate your
Oh,
maiden win?
Nothing.
We need a shoey, man.
Say less.
Have a good night.
No shoey.
No shoey.
No
We'll pass
Some
it.
Dunkin' products. Nice cold latte.
No.
All right. Well, we respect it.
We'll hope to see you up in the top again next week. Have a good night.
Okay. Bye.
What a guy. Man of many words.
Wow.
Man of many
Man of
words.
many words.
Man of many
We couldn't get him
words.
to stop talking.
And I think we wanted to pull Zach Sky in here.
Yeah, we got
He
Zach.
looks to be in the cool down room already. Zach Sky, our position gainer of the race, an absolute thriller from back to the front of the grid. How'd you do it?
I took half fuel in the beginning. This way I was able to hit 146s consistently in the beginning, and then I took half fuel at the end. It actually worked out. I didn't take tires, so it wasn't a big pit stop, but it worked.
Different strategy prevails, everyone. Stop the presses. Different strategy.
Yeah. I'm glad I got top 10.
I have one question. Your qualifying position wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, I had a quali bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
judging from the start, we saw pretty much 3/4 of the backfield having a yellow flag.
Yeah.
Did you see the carnage? Did you get impacted by the carnage? What happened?
So it was in the back. I rounded that second corner after the first corner, and then my friend who was watching, he was like, "Hey, chill for a bit, like slow down." As soon as he said that, I saw Lucas hit the wall and like just everybody go everywhere, and I was actually kind of able to sneak through everything and didn't get hit.
Well,
I was really lucky.
I'm glad to see that you made it out alive and you could gain off of that and actually bring a different strategy into play. Kind of worked. Bailey and Austin, do you have any questions for the man, the myth, the legend?
I think you got it all. It's a great race, Zach, by the way.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Come back.
Thank you. Yeah, it felt good. I was kind of nervous that I only got 11th place at the end there, but somehow I got 10th. I don't know what happened to Kimball, but I was hoping.
He lost the rear
Yeah.
end.
He had a little
he lost.
accident.
Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I was hoping for top 10 when I started in the back. I was like, that would be a great finish for me. Yeah, it worked out.
Heck
Boom.
yeah.
Mega
Great
drive.
achievement.
Well done.
You got it
Thank you.
today. Enjoy the celebration. Have a
Yeah,
great night,
yeah.
man.
Good night, guys. Great commenting again. Peace
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you. I talked to the winning team here of Team Baseline, and they said they're good for an interview if you want to pull them in.
Do we want him?
Double? We get double?
Double
interview?
Let's go.
A team interview.
A double
There they
Team
are.
interview.
The boys. The boys.
Team
Welcome.
Baseline.
Yep.
What
We're coming for that team's championship. I think we were over 100 behind, and now we're, I don't know, something like
Ooh,
20, 30.
21. It looks
Yeah.
like.
definitely
he's
a
close the
collecting
gap.
Checks here today, boys. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Representing that Audi.
Sponsors are proud. The sponsors are proud of us.
Everybody.
Team Tarjay, right? Tarjay, keep it classy.
Let's go.
Yeah, for sure. Baseline Racing won the D3 teams last season, so we're trying to defend again. So we're on track. So Ronan, we're coming for you. Or I guess I don't know who's first. Carolina Reapers.
Reapers,
Yep.
yeah, Ruzik and Aoki.
I guess we're coming for them.
Two very fast people, but you definitely made up a lot of ground today. And I have one
Definitely.
question. One question only.
Sir.
Why not battle at the end? I wanted to see it.
So true.
He got held up by cars coming out of the bus stop, and I gained up a lot of time on that, and I felt wrong to take the spot from him. So I was trying to give him a little bit of the gap back, and then battle. Then we just kept catching out another car. Just like
Were you guys in voice chat together?
yeah,
Yeah, we were discussing it. Yeah, we were debating. Should I
the
let him
whole
buy if he's got more pace or-
start. Yeah, the whole start was choreography between us.
Now,
Say, did you guys have a strat going into this race?
Don't get in a wreck, and whichever one of us had a run off the start there, we were gonna give the other one the spot and then just follow suit.
Sweet.
Joey
yeah.
the
actually
toe.
worked
Yeah.
out.
Always
Yeah,
nice
sure
to have
did.
your teammate up there for help too. I bet.
Oh yeah, it was nice having us both start together.
Yeah, we were definitely talking about who should be P3, P4, but we decided to hold station. So
I know.
it's benefit of having a great teammate.
I know if it was
Yeah.
me and Bailey was in front of me, I'm diving him every single time.
Yeah, that's the difference between us. So
Sorry,
That's just
Bailey.
us.
You gotta find a better teammate.
I guess so. I guess so. I'm hiring if anybody's interested.
Server's using all my setups, and I'm getting them at least half a second every race. So every
Oh.
lap. So he knows.
True.
Yeah, I feel you.
Well, great race tonight, boys. Hope to see your team up there in the top 5 again, side by side. That would be great.
For sure, we're coming for that team's trophy. So get ready.
Hope to see that battle.
Only will
play
be
out.
watching.
Roderick's and Sarver, everyone. What a night.
Did it?
We did it. We made it. We went bowling.
COVID and all.
But to round out everything, if you liked what you saw here tonight, you thought, maybe I want to get in on that action, hop on over to our website, simracingalliance.com, sign up there, join our Discord. I believe you can join the Discord through discord.gg/simracingalliance as well. Come join us. Great community, growing, ever so popular, really focusing on racing better and clean, despite what happened on lap 1 today. Bailey, Austin, you have any final things to say?
I mean, we're trying to round out another spoiler. We might be adding another division, so gotta pump these numbers up.
If you were in the Discord, you would see that, correct?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Great fun and exciting race as always. Happy to be with the boys.
Exactly. Well, we went bowling tonight, and we definitely got a strike judging by 3/4 of the field going out on lap 1, but we will see you all next week at Wet Suzuka.